Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to Crystal Barrett's May I Scraplift You. And the creative scrapper that I'm going to lift today is MK Gunn. And this is the layout I picked. This one she just did a day or so ago. I had another one picked for like over 2 months. And guess what? I seen this and decided to do it instead. On YouTube is her channel Some Assemblage Required, and on Instagram it's MK Gunn 31. I'm gonna scrap that photo of Jason, and I'm gonna use several dies for this layout. The film one, the Polaroid one, that log, the burlap. I'm gonna use the footprints and the magnifying glass, and I have two different fonts for my title. I'm not going to use the wood slices, but I am going to use the alpha. And then I am pulling, I think it's a film strip from there, a small one. I am using 49 and Market Countryside, and well, I think that's all I am using beside cardstock. I'm going to use this reverse chicken wire die from, I believe it is Crafter's Workshop, and some graphite. It's from Prima, and I'm going to use it instead of my chicken wire die. And there is a small piece of chicken wire die cut in the collection, but I decided to use the graphite and make some. And I'm going to put it in several places. And if you look on the original layout, it's torn at the top and at the bottom. I thought I would put some of that chicken wire there and some crackle paint. Well, it didn't work out quite as I planned. And so I will end up coloring it a little bit. It was just a little on the too white side. See how white that is? Yeah, and of course I was impatient, not wanting to wait for it to crack. I used my heat gun for a change. I never use my heat gun, hardly ever. It's probably been a couple of years since I used it to hurry things up. But I thought I'd put it in the two spots, plus a little bit more, but it just kept looking so white. So I will add some stuff to it so it won't look quite so white. I may never get the crackling. I got bubbling, but no crackling. It seemed thinner than the jar I used to have, but it's kind of hard to remember how it looked when I first got it. And since they say it cracks, bigger cracks if it's thick, I put it on thick. I am putting his photo on top of that burlap. I accidentally laid it on top of that stamp pad. That's why it's got that dark blotch in the middle. It got all of that wild honey right there in the middle. This paper, the cardstock I am using, it matches really good, this collection, but it is 8.5 by 11. So it was a little on the short side. And I just cut it in half and stretched it out to the end so I'd have the ends anyway, and then adhered it back together. Um, I'm going to, I decided I better put my title on there. It's a little bit longer title. I used the Close to My Heart ones for the run, and it is, I think they're called Classic, I think, or maybe they're called Block. Maybe. I can't remember. If anybody needs to know, they are discontinued, but I will let you know below if you ask. It is, and then the other one is the Tim Holtz one, and it's got the heart slices, and it looked like chicken scratch to me. So that's why I decided to use it for my layout. So it says run. It's a cockfight. And then I went ahead and put a rub on down there, a country way of life. Well, if you look at the photo, Jason's got a scratch from the bridge of his nose all the way down. I mean, we're lucky it was not on his eye. And I scrapped a photo of him a little while back holding a rooster. Well, I mentioned I had another photo to scrap, and this was it. After a couple of years of catching those roosters and not having a bit of trouble, well, he caught hens too. I mean, it was like a goal of his to catch them. And no matter how many times he was told that one day he might get hurt, he didn't listen. And, he's all boy. He had to go ahead and do it. Well, he got hurt. And you can see he is not very happy there. So, yeah, of course I had to scrap it. It got posted on Facebook even. Anyway, I guess I'll make it as a companion page or towards the end of his album that one's in. I don't know yet. I haven't put it in there. And I can't even remember offhand what papers I used. But um, he'll like it. He just loves his scrapbook pages. And let's see, where am I at here? Oh, I had a hard time deciding which round thing I wanted to put by his photo. I knew I wanted to put one, so I had a few there. And I tried them all, and I finally decided on the picture wheel. And I forgot to show that die. But yeah, I finally decided on it. And I had cut it out as the same color as the Polaroid up there. And the Polaroid says, "I love this." So I'm covering it up with the Gina Marie um, log thing there because I don't want that on there since, I don't love that he got scratched at all. But I want to save the memory for him because, now that it's over, done with, and his scratch is healed up, he is pretty good at telling the story. So he will love this page anyway. I had a hard time making up my mind on those tickets and stuff in the Polaroid too. I had everything to the left, and yeah, I looked at it and decided, no, I want it all to the right. So I moved it, and of course I had to put a rooster above his head. I made sure I didn't cover up that rooster's head because, this is all about the rooster. And then I had to put one up there like he's up on top of a fence crowing up there at the top, since the original layout has a cluster up at the top right and then a larger one at the bottom left. And it has film strips in both. I have film strips in both. So I was trying to do a few of the things that MK did on her layout. Scrap lifting's fun because, well, you get to see what product they decided to use on theirs and how to use it compared to a sketch. Let's see, where am I at? Oh, I had a black one up there at the top, and of course I have a film strip that's that reddish burnt orange. And then, so I had the big one at the top. At first, I thought about putting it at the bottom, but I decided to do it the opposite way and put the big one at the top and the small one at the bottom. And I put that magnifying glass, although, it didn't magnify his eye whatsoever. I put it over his eye to kind of point it out. I didn't want to move it over too far because I wanted it where you can still see his face pretty good. Can't see the scratch went all the way up to the bridge of his nose because it is covering it up. But I wanted to put it strategically where it would work and still you can see his face pretty good. And if I'd thought of greenery, I probably would have made it a different color. But I did put some acetate, well, maybe it's called Mylar in that package I've got, and some foam tape on it. So once I got it in the right place, it had to stay if it wasn't the right place. But I was glad I got it in the right place because that stuff is sticky. And you know how anything is on a photo? 10 times stickier. Um, I wanted to put like a little, there's like a cluster of stuff on MK's, and hers is on the left, mine's on mostly on the right. But I wanted to make sure I had a cluster there, so I found a watering can and some gardening tools to put there. And I'm just kind of, well, I put foam tape under the watering can, and I'm just kind of layering them there on top of the um, picture wheel. My mind went blank for a split second there, not too long, just a split second. But I was looking at it while I was talking, and I thought, man, you can barely see the picture wheel again. I mean, this isn't the first time I get started putting stuff on it, and it is just totally in the background. But while I'm doing that, I want to mention that down there below, you'll find the link for all the videos for the May I Scraplift you. And you'll also find the link for MK's channel, and I will put a link for her video and Instagram because she has both of those things. And I think I'm going to add some greenery up there. I might stop. I might. I can't remember. I'm kind of thinking I do before I get done with the greenery because I kept looking at all that white and I had to make it another color. And I will end up, after I ink it, I will end up adding rub on all of them a little bit here and there. I'm even going to add it to the shoes. I at first thought I would put the crackle stamp on there. However, I made that paste so uneven, trying to make it thick, that it wasn't looking like a crackle very good. So I just figured coloring it a little bit here and there would help. And so, yeah, that's what I ended up doing. But now I'm back to finishing my greenery up there by the rooster. But I think that's it besides the splatters and the rub-ons. Well, it's just one pretty good size rub-on, and it's green, and it's like a blotch of paint that's got different shades. So I'm just rubbing it here and there on top of that white stuff, helping it get colored up a little bit more. And like I said, I'm going to put it on the shoes too because I got to thinking, what would it look like on the shoes? And if I don't know, I won't, if I don't do it, I won't try and won't know. So I put it on there. And the first one I thought, man, that looks like something you'd step in on a farm. And I had to put it on the second one too because you got to be really careful when you go to the farm. Any farm, they all have stuff you don't want to step in. You want to watch where you're walking, or you'll be wishing you had. Uh, the splatters I'm going to use, oh, and I have my fan on, so I kept trying to blow away, but I'm using Bookworm by Mr. Huey, and that's my tried and true. That's like one of my favorite ones to splatter. Of course, y'all know that if you've been watching, it is one of my favorites. But it's getting low. I spilled some of it too because I was trying to tilt that, and well, it just got on my thumb. It didn't spill. There wasn't none on the table. But I thought, what a waste. Yeah, I tilted it just so I could get some out. But that's it. That's my layout. And I forgot to mention the reason I got the footprints there is because the word run. I wanted to have a couple footprints so that like he could run. Yeah, but there's my title with Run. It's a cockfight and a country way of life. And there's the cluster by the photo. And isn't that watering can cute? It's so rustic. I mean, perfectly done. I mean, it looks like it's been sitting out there on the farm for years. Oh, and you might have seen me take my craft knife and make a slit in it, and I stuck that greenery down in there like it was growing out of there. But yeah, that is just so cute. And there's the magnifying glass, and yeah, his scratch too, unfortunately. But if you leave a comment down there below, I'll try to get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And those of you already are, thank you so very much. But I hope you have a happy scrappy week and have fun with that playlist down there. Try some of the layouts and scrap lift them. Bye.